Hey everybody, welcome to the channel if you are new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. Today is going to be a little bit of a one-off and we'll see what you guys think. I decided to do a 12 by 12 layout with the pictures that you see, which are of a frog that happened to get into the store that I worked in at the time. And a little bit of a backstory to that is that my mother has a habit of creating a very comfortable environment for the frogs that live in our yard, and has been known to help them raise their young a little bit. So everyone in the store thought it best that I was the most trustworthy to get this frog to safety. So before we did so, we took a couple pictures of the little guy, and he was just so cute and so happy to be back outside when we got him there. But, and just for reference, I did work in an outdoor shopping center, so it wasn't like in an indoor mall or something strange where he just really did wander in. But I just thought that it would be really cool to document it on this really pretty frog-ish paper that you see in the background. I'm going to link the collections down below because, being completely honest, I don't offhand remember and I don't have them in front of me. I am doing this voiceover from my boyfriend's house while we are under quarantine and stay in place. So running to the house to figure out what paper pads I used, not on the top of my list right this second, but I'll make sure to throw them down into the description when I post the video. So you're going to see me really just playing with all these different bobs and bits. So let's kind of talk about that for a minute. So as I said, the background paper and the paper pads I used, I don't remember offhand, but I did use two different collections, and I did use a cut apart page from each of those collections. I want to say they're a little bit older and that they're from Hobby Lobby. So there's that, if that helps at all. And I did decide to use some tissue paper just to add a little element of texture. Really watching a lot of Adele Toomey over the years and watching her play with it just made me want to play with it some more. So I'm enjoying keeping tissue paper from anywhere I get it and just trying to incorporate that little bobber bit using all the paper products, basically. You'll also see some things that look like paint swatches, that pink and that pretty sienna color, maybe is the best way to describe that. Not sure. We're going to say sienna because it sounds pretty. So we've got that color too. Those are actually leftovers from a Heritage collection page that I happen to have. And that's actually a fairly current collection with Maggie, Holmes, and crate paper. So I just happened to have those left over and thought that they would kind of go with the vibe and the color scheme. So I popped those in there just to kind of get rid of them. I'm really trying to use up my scraps and my little extra tidbits as much as I can, or making sure I put them in Happy Mail to someone else if I can't use them. Just because I can't doesn't mean that someone else can't. And I love gifting Happy Mail to people. So that's always a blast for me. So I am toying with every combination on the planet, I think, to collage all these beautiful pieces together and create something that kind of looked like, I wanted it to look like kind of an explorer's desk and really reflect that background paper. So I really played with layering a lot in this, which is definitely a little bit different than what you see in any of my stuff that I've posted so far. I'm usually quite the planner chick, and that's what I post. And I really don't show a lot of, the junk journaling that I do. I definitely need to probably, and let me know if that's something that you guys would like to see in the future, along with 12 by 12 layouts. I'm hoping to bring back my Project Lifing as well. So let me know your thoughts on that. For everyone that commented for content with the birthday giveaway, I'm trying to take that into effect as well and plan videos to show off what you guys want to see more of. So never hesitate to tell me what you guys want to see, because definitely gives me ideas when I'm brain farting and don't know what else to put on the channel sometimes. Also, I would love to, while I'm moving all the bobs and bits all over the screen and there's nothing else really to discuss at the moment, I really want to know what kind of projects you guys are working on if you're quarantined and what's keeping you occupied, because there's a lot going on out there and you can't go out there. So I'm curious to see. I also know getting a hold of craft supplies is kind of a little tricky at the moment too. Even doing online pickup orders has been a hot mess. I tried working with a local craft store, and they couldn't even fill orders in a day anymore because they're walking into so many curbside and pickup in store orders. It's madness. It's really wild to think that that's kind of our new normal right now. So, in other news, let's talk about all of the taping that's about to happen. So once I figured out where I really wanted everything, I started plonking it down everywhere. You see me kind of playing with a test strip of paper at one point. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do print or cursive. I struggle with my handwriting in scrapbooking more than words can say. I don't really mind if it's in my planner, obviously, because it's personal and it's going to be covered in my handwriting. But there's something about wishing I had a typewriter constantly when I'm working on scrapbook layouts or Project Life layouts or anything in that regard. Looking back at any memory books I have or memory keeping book type situations that I have, I'm always cringing at my handwriting and noticing the development of my handwriting and how much time and effort that I've put into it over the years. My mother has some of the most beautiful handwriting I've ever seen, and I envy it daily. So, which is funny because she envies my hand lettering, which is so backwards. Grass is always greener, right? So as I am gluing all these bobs and bits down with my Tombow double-sided adhesive, that has been the biggest lifesaver. I started kind of using it a little bit last year when I was getting ready to go on vacation and I didn't want to take glue with me everywhere. I started with the removable adhesive, and I would definitely suggest that if you're going to play with double-sided tape, start with the removable, because you're kind of used to having that wiggle room with glue if you're a glue user. So going hardcore permanent is a little jarring and sometimes not always as easily removed as you would have hoped. So that's my tidbit on glue for the day. But as you can see, the collaging worked out pretty good, I think, personally. I worry now looking back that some things faded into that background a little bit more than I would have preferred, but I really did want that effect. If that sounds really strange, but I did want it to look very junky, like someone's desk, maybe someone who was studying frogs, and I really wanted it to look like all the bits and bobs and receipts and tags and things you would expect to find maybe in an explorer's notebook or in someone's travel journal or on their desk if they were an explorer or recorder of frogs and things. Is that a thing? Maybe. This is an extra chatty video, so thank you guys for hanging on through there. I just didn't want to speed this up so fast that it was a blur. So I'd rather be chatty and it look viewable than you guys have to listen to silence or watch a blur. So let's keep it going then. While I am gluing all the bobs and bits down, since I've already asked you about what's keeping you occupied and what else you guys might want to see from the channel, I really don't know what else to ask you. So feel free to comment if you have any questions too. This is my go-to most fun stamp ever. And it is the Studio Calico Mega Date stamp. This is the classic one. They do have one that's a little bit more updated and fun looking, I guess, but it's a little too modern for my taste, to be honest. So, oh, there's my hair making a guest appearance. But I get really close to my paper when I write. And I'm using a Uniball pen in this. I will have to put it down below, but it actually comes out to a really pretty, like, blackish brown. So it worked out to have it match up with the ink, the distress ink that I use to date stamp. But I love that Studio Calico stamp. I think it's so fun that it's so massive. When my stepdad saw it, he was just kind of mystified. He was like, I've never seen a stamp in my life that's that giant. But the Uniball pen worked out really great to kind of keep everything really cohesive and in that very explorer, darker inks, brown inks kind of vibe. As you can see, I had a little bit of a mess up, so I had to recut some paper before I stuck that last photo down. So I had to layer that little guy back up, play with it some more before I got it all stuck down to where I liked it. Trying to think of anything else that's kind of pertinent. This is a very strange voiceover for me to do because it's definitely not my norm. I did decide to add this really cool kind of coffee stamp. It's a Tim Holtz stamp, and I just thought it gave it like a little extra kind of fun element to making it look like it was on someone's desk once again. Then of course, Adele has her Heidi Shine. I have my Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I do the exact same thing. I do not have a little song or ditty yet. We'll work on that later, but that is definitely my go-to at the very end of everything to clean it up. Another thing that Adele does that I've completely stolen is lining the pages with a black or white doodle border. I think it makes things look finished. Even though it did not make it look like it was on someone's traveler's desk, it just finished it out to where the page doesn't look like it's bleeding off into oblivion or a soft stop, if that makes sense. So this is me just kind of going over the page for you, all low and slow. Definitely stole that little technique from Adele as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and feel free to leave me comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys.